Well, good morning. You've reached J Tricker 717's broadcasting, and this is J Tricker 717. All right, make sure you get your coffee. And as I always say, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this broadcasting. All right, let's get started today. What are we starting off with today? Okay. Today in the news, and remember, in one of my broadcasts, I said I ought to have a Big Dummy Award. I think this news qualifies for the Big Dummy Award. Okay, $3 million worth of cocaine seized from the semi-trailer at U.S. Canadian border crossing. $3 million. The U.S. Customs and Border Protection says that agents arrested a Canadian truck driver and seized millions of dollars worth of drugs at a Washington state border crossing. The drug bust occurred May 9th at the Pacific Highway port of entry in Blaine, Washington, according to a CBP news release. The Canadian resident truck driver, Atipol Saghir, was referred for a secondary inspection, and you know how you go to an inspection, and they said now you're going to a secondary inspection, as he attempted to cross the U.S. border. While inspecting the trailer, officers reportedly discovered a 5 duffel bag filled with 50 plastic wrapped packages containing cocaine. Saghir was arrested and transferred into custody of the Whatcom County Sheriff's Office. So they seized 134 pounds of cocaine, street value of $3 million. Yeah, that qualifies for the Big Dummy Award. If you think you're going to be able to cross the border with $3 million worth of cocaine and you didn't really hide it, and if you look at the picture, it was just basically in his trailer in a duffel bag. Big Dummy Award. All right, what else is going on? What else is going on? So I guess there is, and this is something very serious. A man left to start a new trucking job in November 2019, and he has not been heard from since. Okay, Texas police are asking for help from the public in locating a man who went missing late last year. On May 18th, the Waco Police Department put out a call for public assistance in locating 57-year-old James Earl Gilmore. Police said that the family members have not seen or heard from Gilmore since November 2019, when he left Waco to begin a trucking job in Louisiana. So they're looking for this guy. He's 6'4", 220 pounds, African American descent, and they're looking for him. I recently drove, when I was driving through Texas, I seen on my Qualcomm Waco, and the first thing I thought about was, and it's just because I know a lot of people from Waco is like, that's kind of messed up, but no, you remember the Waco stands where they had the guy who basically was brainwashing the whole group that was with him, and they were held up in Waco, and that's all I can think of when I go to Waco. So when I go to Waco, I usually get in there, get out real quick. But this is kind of a serious situation. They're looking for this guy. You can look him up on CD Life. African American male, 6'4", 220 pounds. They're looking for him. Haven't seen him since November of 2019. All right, what else is going on in the news? What else is going on in the news? Okay. And as the CV-19 hits, companies are starting to feel the pinch. And the mega carrier to sell off 5 operating companies after filing for bankruptcy. A Florida-based parent company announced this week that it would file for bankruptcy and sell off 5 company subsidiaries. On Sunday, May 17, Comcar Industries Incorporated announced they filed Chapter 11, protection and intent for selling off operating companies. The company operates 4,000 trucks and employs 4,500 workers. Comcar says that they expect to conduct business as usual during the bankruptcy proceeding. Okay, so basically this company's filing for bankruptcy, Comcar. I've never heard of Comcar in the trucking world, but you guys are probably familiar with him, familiar with the company. But one of the things too is when a company files for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, that's a reorganization bankruptcy. So they're not literally saying that they don't have any money. They're just saying that their debt is more than the money that they're coming in. And in this time, I can easily see that happen. When you have a lot of debt, you could easily get behind on things when you got an extremely amount of debt. And during this time when rates are down and business is down, and that's what they always say about businesses, is that make sure you control your debt, because in tough times you won't be able to make it. And that's what they're struggling with right now. So hopefully they'll get things together and continue on with that. I wanted to also talk about something that I used to run into a lot. Every trucking company has a safety department, okay, and that safety department monitors your safety record. It keeps most of your administration record. And one of the things I always recommend to drivers is there's a thing called MVR, Motor Vehicle Report for your CDL. You need to get a copy of that. You can go down to your motor vehicles in your state and get a copy of your motor vehicle report for your CDL. And it says that carriers must maintain a motor vehicle report on each driver qualifications file, and they must get one every 12 months and maintain it for 3 years. So your company, whoever you're working for, leasing for, working under the authority, has your MVR report, and they're monitoring it. And that's something that they have to actually send to probably the insurance company, because the insurance company gives them rates based on that. And sometimes, when I went to trucking school, one of the instructors used to say that insurance companies run the trucking industry, because insurance companies can tell the actual trucking company that, no, I'm not going to insure that person no more, and then you will, the safety department will contact you and let you know you can't drive for them no more. So you need to get make sure you have your MVR report so you know what's on it. Another thing, it gives a list. Let's talk about the list that's on your MVR report. There is, okay, so on your MVR report is your personal identification information, your name, address, birthday, gender, details regarding your personal appearance, specific details regarding your license, such as license number, type, class, restriction, endorsement status, and expiration and issue date. How many points you have on your driving record. Now, one of the things that's on your MVR report is it has your convictions, what you've been convicted of, any speeding tickets you have. What else is on your MVR report? Any accidents, at-fault accidents. That is very important. I used to tell truckers to keep I used to keep a toolkit. You know, that little thing that you open up on the side by the truck. That's just not for junk. Keep a toolkit in there, because you don't know, especially if you're starting out, you don't know when you may nick something, knock a mirror off, and you may have to put that thing back on yourself to keep rolling, because you can't always stop, and because they're gonna direct you to the nearest facility that they can get that fixed, and that may be out your way. So you want to keep that there so you can keep rolling till you get back to your station, and so that you can get your truck updated and fixed. So you always want to keep some tools. You just keep bungee cords, just in case your bumper gets banged up. You can at least mend it up until you get to your back to your office. But that's something you need to keep. And what I also say too is, and I know this is probably not the proper way that your trucking company wants to do it, every little ding and dent, you know, I mean, I'm not telling you not to report it, but if you can go and buy a mirror that you done knocked off and put it back on your truck, I'm gonna do it. You know, just so I don't get a at-fault accident on my report. Because guess what happens when you get an at-fault accident? You get so many and they won't let you drive for them anymore. And you'll try to go to another company, and as soon as they pull your MVR report and they see you have too many accidents, they won't let you drive for them. So it's very important that you're keeping track of your MVR report. And like I said, every little ding and nick, don't necessarily. I mean, I'm not telling you if you have an accident that you don't report. You need to report all accidents. That is very important. It's against the law not to report an accident. But if you knock off a mirror, you know, ding something, some of that stuff can be fixed yourself, and you use your own judgment on what you need to, what you consider as minor. And because let me tell you something, I have had truck drivers, you know, hit a ice, because you know in the wintertime the ice gets pretty thick and it'll knock your mirror off if you go past it. And they'll turn in the truck when they go in, and guess what? They got an at-fault accident. Just because they knocked the mirror off. You want to maintain a long trucking career. You want to make sure you know all the little things that you should and should not do. All right, so we talked about the MVR report. You need to make sure you have a copy of that so that you know what your MVR report is. Another thing that happens in the trucking industry, you're driving and there's a disagreement between you and your trucking company. And either you or the trucking company says, turn in the truck, you know, you're not driving, and maybe the safety department, maybe you just got a speeding ticket and they're like, no, you can't drive for us no more. You turn in your truck. They tell you to leave it at one of their outlets. Like say it's in New Jersey, they got a lot in New Jersey. They said just leave it in that lot. They turn you in as abandoning your truck. You don't know it until you go to your next trucking company. Get a copy of your MVR report. Make sure you keep current of what's going on with your MVR report, because you will find there are times when trucking companies will report you as, because they're upset. They may not like the way the conversation went after they told you to turn the truck in. They can easily put that on your report, and you need to get legal representation and make sure they take that crap off your report. Because if you turned your truck in right, then it shouldn't be on your report that you abandoned the report. And when you abandon a truck on your MVR report, everybody sees that. Nobody wants to work with you anymore. That's a big hit on your MVR report. You can't find too many trucking companies that will accept you once they see that you've abandoned your truck. Because basically, let's say you're driving in Arizona, okay? Say you're going from California to New York. You get in Arizona and you just said, forget it. I got a cousin lives in Arizona. You leave the truck on the side of the road. That trucking company is based out of, let's say they're based out of Virginia. They got to go all the way to Arizona to get that truck. They got to hire a driver to go all the way to Arizona to get that truck. You think they're going to be a little hot? Yeah. And the truck may be damaged by the time they get there. May not even run. They may have to tow it all the way from Arizona. Trucking companies don't like that too much. They call it recovering the truck. Or it may be a situation where you don't want to turn the truck in and it's sitting in your driveway. That's happened to people too. I'm not giving it back, and they have to come and get it out of your driveway. If they tell you to turn the truck in, just turn it in. You'll find another trucking job. They will tell you won't. But as long as you keep your nose clean, you'll find another trucking job. Don't worry, there's plenty of trucking jobs out there. All right, what else is going on? Okay, we're going to talk about this, and then we're going to take a weather break. Love's. I'm reading this for the first time and hearing about it for the first time. Love's response to a viral video involving a security guard who threatened to shoot the trucker. Okay, let's read this. Love's Travel Center has issued a response to a video that went viral over the weekend involving a security guard and a trucker at a Tennessee truck stop location. Sunday, May 17th, which was last Sunday, truck driver Joshua Andrews became involved in a parking spot dispute that reportedly began when he was awakened twice by a security guard at Love's location on Lamar Avenue in Memphis, Tennessee. I've been to that truck stop in Memphis, that Love's truck stop. Yeah. And we all know truckers don't like to be woken up in the middle of their sleep. You want to get a trucker pissed off, go knocking on his door at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning after he's been driving for 11, 13 hours. You ain't gonna. Ooh, yeah, you're gonna hear some stuff. Okay, according to Andrews, who was bobtailing at the time, he already dropped his trailer off. He's bobtailing at the Memphis spot. Security guard woke him up and asked him to move to a different spot, a different part of the truck stop parking lot to save room. He don't have to do that. Just because they're trying to save room, you're going to tell him he has to move? No. Andrew said that he was woken up in a second time and told to move to a different spot by a security guard who later identified himself as Officer Holton. Okay, so now it's not a security guard, it's an officer, I guess. Dispute ensued between Holton and Andrews, which Andrews filmed on his cell phone. The two men walked into the store. Andrews turned the camera on himself and says, "At the Loves here in Memphis," which we all know where it is. If you've been driving for a while, you've been to the Loves in Memphis. I think, let's see, Memphis was Western Express. That's where Western Express is out of Tennessee. So, yeah, I've been to that Memphis truck stop. And he probably was driving for Western Express. Holton responds to saying, "At the Loves, gonna get your ass kicked or shot. Make sure you record that too." So that's what the officer said to him when he says he's at the Loves in Memphis. That you're either gonna get your ass kicked or shot. Wow. Are you threatening me? Andrews asked. An imminent promise, Holton answers. The two men consult a Loves manager who ultimately gives Andrews permission to remain in his parking spot. So we're going to take a look at that video, and we're going to take a look at weather break. Let's take a look at this video.
What's your sergeant? I'm going to take you inside the building. Why can't you just tell me right here so I can call? You got to get back. What a joke. I said, that's a joke. No, you're not supposed to park here. Sergeant Sanders is the one who will get you told. Okay. I'm the one. Sergeant Sanders. Don't worry about this. Listen to me talk. Don't interrupt me. I'm the one who will find you a parking place. Okay? He the one that enforce you can't sit here zero. But the security guard previous to you, I don't care. Said we could park. And he's on the way here right now. I know who you're talking about. The little skinny guy. Yes, he's still here. With the vest. Okay. Yes, he's still here. Okay. He's still here. But you cannot park here. So one of your guys says we can park here, and then you just come over here being irate. Like, you don't care if we park here or go park somewhere else. And my point is that. So what is your sergeant's name? Don't worry about it. You ain't getting it. Why? Be up here at 10 o'clock. That's when you're going to leave me at 10 o'clock. Be sergeant. What is his name? Sergeant Sanders. And why won't you refusing to give me his phone number? Because I don't want to. I don't have to. That's how you treat us truck drivers. Exactly. What is your name? I'm Officer Holton. Who are you employed by? Don't worry about that. You'll find out from the sergeant. I'll talk to the manager in here. Good. Matter of fact, go ahead for the show enough move now. Okay. It just don't make no sense, man. You ain't got to talk to nobody like that. I don't care. I don't care. Wouldn't nobody rude to you? Breaking news. Wouldn't nobody said nothing to nobody? At the Loves here in Memphis. Oh, real. At the Loves. That is kick. One shot. Make sure you record that too.
Are you threatening me now?
Imminent promise.
I mean, I ain't said nothing.
Imminent promise. Go ahead.
Excuse me.
Excuse me.
Can I send a call down, please? Is my radio on? Hold on. Hey, Tash, I have a phone call from Speed Code. Can I send a phone call down to you, please? I'm on the window. Chris, you need Chris Tatum to the diesel gas for customer assistance. Chris Tatum.
You got water in this mirror?
What's up with man?
Excuse me, man.
Hey.
Hold on 1 second, sir.
Chris. He believes that Bob tells should park on the front parking lot. I want to be reinforced because he wants to be allowed.
No, there were two of us parked out there
There's five of them.
on the front lot. The gentleman that's right at the front door, I was actually parked in another spot. He come knocked on the door. He's like, hey man, you ain't supposed to park out here, but the back's full. If you don't mind, just pull over on that side lot so you're out of the way. Very nice, professional. This man comes out there, knocks on the door. You know, he's like, hey, you can't park here. So I let him know that I didn't know he was still here. His other superior guy said that we could park here. He said, I don't care what nobody said. He lied to you.
The superior is the one who enforced that. So
Well,
you
the
are
superior
telling a lie.
the superior at the time, I just mean this
No, you
gentleman
just
here
lied. You lied.
that was here.
They don't allow Bob Taylor in the front lot, period.
Oh, today we did because
We let a couple there, but once
Because
it starts
our-
getting crazy full, we gotta find a
we had to
spot.
let him, we let the volunteer go to the front on the left side.
Thanks, sir.
Sonny, mark it back. Mark it back in. No.
How long you gonna be there?
Probably about 3 more hours.
Okay, as soon as your time's up, we're on.
Okay. I asked for the gentleman's number, his superior's name, his boss. He refused to give it to me.
Okay, he works for us, so.
Okay, so I told him, I said, man, that's crazy, as he was walking away. So he turned back around and came back to me. And I said I'd talk to the manager in the store, and he told me I'd get my ass knocked out here at the Loves.
I'll deal with that. Then.
That he didn't give a shit where we parked at. We could find somewhere else to park.
Yes, sir.
Well, like you
I mean,
said,
this is a truck stop.
like you said, when
You
your
know?
3 hours up, you need to be gone in the store. Have a nice day.
I got it.
Okay, so can I have this gentleman's supervisor?
I'll take care of it. They work for us. I'll take care of it. Okay. They work for a third party that we deal with, so we have daily conversations with them. So I'll take care of the situation, sir.
Thank you.
So, sorry about that.
Appreciate it, man.
All right.
Customer 39. Your shower is ready.
Your national forecast over the next couple of days. One of the biggest highlights is going to be all this rain that'll be falling in the Ohio Valley, down into parts of the Carolinas, the Central Appalachians. That includes Virginia, West Virginia. We'll have to watch out for some flooding in those spots. Apart from that, just pretty hot down in the south, parts of Texas getting up into the triple digits. And you'll notice the next couple of days, Wednesday and Thursday, more rain in some of those same areas I was just talking about in the southeast, up into the Carolinas, even up into parts of the mid-Atlantic as well. So I do think we'll see at least some flooding issues. There will be at least a chance for a couple of severe storms in parts of the northern plains on Wednesday. And then Thursday, that system will spread a little bit further into the central plains. Not expecting much as far as severe weather goes on Thursday. Friday, more rain along parts of the East Coast. Won't make it quite up into the Northeast. So some of the bigger cities like New York and Boston, you guys likely stay dry, but you'll have some rain in D.C., places like Charlotte, Raleigh, etc. The central part of the country, a little bit on the wet side as well by the end of the week.
In response to COVID-19, Subaru and our retailers are donating 50 million meals to Feeding America to help feed those who now need our help. Love, it's what makes Subaru, Subaru.
Okay, that was the weather forecast, and we also took a look at a video at the Loves in Memphis, Tennessee. Oh my gosh. One of the things that, and I am so glad that that truck driver stood up for himself. One of the things I always say is that, you know, a lot of times they don't realize that, you know, we're the one that supplies that love. We're the one that brings all of the food, all of the items into that loves. And being a truck stop that truckers are supposed to be able to rest safely and not deal with a lot of crap. I mean, that's totally ridiculous. And I'm pretty sure that Love's handled that situation because they do not want trucking companies to boycott their facility and start going to TA or Pilot or somewhere else. But, you know, that was totally uncalled for. You know, there's no reason, you know, you're a trucker. What are you trying to do? Get some rest. You're going where? To a truck stop. So to be told to move 2 or 3 times when you're trying to get some rest, you know, I'm like, okay, he's trying to get some sleep. You know, it's not like he, you know, he's hanging out. You know, he's trying to get some rest. And, you know, you're already kind of a little upset when someone knocks on your truck. And then the trucker was nice. You know, he was nice to the officer. And the officer was just being a jerk. And, you know, that, I mean, telling you you're going to kick his butt or a shooting? Oh, I don't know what's going on with the officers across the nation, but they need a little sensitivity training because, you know, treat people like with respect, no matter, even if they're doing wrong, treat them at least with respect, you know. So I'm glad he stood up for himself, and, you know, truckers, we go through a lot, dealing with shippers, dealing with sometimes our own office dispatched, dealing with truck stops, you know, way stations. Oh my gosh. I remember those days. You know, you have to maintain your cool. I always tell truckers, maintain that cool, because you can flip off just like there's so much stuff that happens to you like this. It's like you could just like, ah. But maintain that cool, but also demand respect. You know, demand that respect. You are the essential personnel providing things to people, so demand that respect as a trucker. All right, we know that coronavirus is going on, and it's very important that people stay safe. There's nothing like getting sick in your truck and then happen to turn your truck in, or, you know, maybe you know, take a 6 months hiatus because you're really sick. So I did a little video on making masks, and that's why I have these masks here. Of course, I'm a Denver Bronco fan, so of course I got a Denver Bronco mask. But I did a little video on how to make this mask, so you know the rest of it. But I said I was going to get some little breather things. I don't know what you call them, but they came in, and I was so excited. So I just wanted to go over a little bit on how that, if you want to see how to make the mask, look at my other video. So basically, these came in, and the only thing you really have to do is this inside circle. You got to cut a hole about the same size as that inside circle. And once you cut that, you just kind of slip it in there in the material like this. There's a little rubber gasket that goes in. You just slide that over this part. And it goes in like that. And then once you put it in the little hole in the material, the only thing you're going to do is snap it in place. Real simple. And you have voila. And the nice thing about this is that it's a lot better when you're breathing. And it helps for like your mask fogging up too. Of course, if you're going to do it, make sure you put them down so you're not breathing this way. But it feels a lot better in breathing. And you can hear yourself a lot better when you're talking. You don't sound muffled. So again, make your own mask. Don't pay $20, $30 for a mask. You can have somebody with a sewing machine. Anybody can make one of these. All right. So that is it for today. And as I always say, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. And no load is what your life. Make sure you be safe out there. This is Trucker 717. Peace. I'm out.